Hi, I'm Anita. Welcome to my channel. We're going to be learning how to make the sweetheart necklace today. I have in front of you all of the materials you're going to be needing today. So take a look, gather your colorful beads, and we'll be getting started. For today's project, you're going to be using 4-pound fireline. If you don't have 4-pound, you can try 6-pound. If you're going to use 6-pound fireline, I would suggest having a size 12 needle on hand just in case. I'm using a size 10 beading needle today, but if you need to switch down to a smaller needle, it'd be a good idea to have it. As you can see, we're using the 4mm bicones, 3mm bicones, and you will have a count of those on that intro to this and also in the description box with the exact counts and measurements of what you need for today. Also, I'm using RounDuos, and this is a 2-hole bead, and 15-0 Miyuki seed beads. This color here, it's like a green iris, and the bicones I'm using today are in a black. And then the RounDuos, this is kind of like a marbleized, they're calling it white Picasso, but really it looks more like a tan or a very light brown color. I'm using some chain for the necklace. You're going to need about 14 inches of that, 7 inches on each side, or longer if you need a longer necklace. So go ahead and get yourself ready, and we'll get started. All right, so to get started, you're going to want to string your needle with about 12 to 14 inches of thread. You might want to use 14 inches just to give you a little extra. And you're going to be leaving about a 3 or 4 inch tail when you do this. The other thing I want to mention, when you're working with multi-hole beads, always check your holes to make sure none of them are clogged up, because that does happen. On occasion, there will be a faulty issue with the production of these beads, and one of them might not have gotten drilled completely through. So to save yourself a few headaches, always check your multi-hole beads. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up 2 RounDuo beads, and in this step it doesn't matter which hole you go into because they're pretty much identical. So just pick up 2 RounDuos like that. Then you're going to pick up a 15-0, a 4mm, and a 15-0, and one more RounDuo bead, any hole, like that. And they look kind of off kilter because of the style of the bead. So go ahead and pull your beads through, leaving a 4-inch tail. Next, you're going to bring your needle back through your work and make sure you're going through the same holes. So we're going through that duo bead, through that duo bead, the 15-0, the 4mm, the 15-0, and the duo bead, going through the same holes that your thread came through, and you're going in the direction of your working thread, and your tail should be down here. So just pull your thread and just have a long enough tail to tie a knot. We're going to be doing a surgeon's knot. So you can tug on your threads to kind of draw the beads together like that. So now set your needle down, and you're going to take the tail of the thread, cross your working thread, go through the loop once, and then again twice. Pull your thread like that, tie a knot nice and tight, and then do one more overhand knot by passing your tail thread over your working thread and going through the loop once, like that, nice and snug. So at this point you can go ahead and cut that tail thread off using your scissors. And if I didn't mention tools earlier, I apologize. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll also need a flat nose pliers and another pair of chain nose pliers for your O-rings. And you'll probably also need a pair of wire cutters for your chain. All right, so we'll go on to the next step. For our next step, we're going to position our work like this. Your tail thread or your working thread is coming out between these first two duo beads. You're going to advance your needle through the two duo beads before your knot, through the hole that you already went through. So because of the angle here, you're going to have to go one bead at a time. So just make sure you're passing your needle through where your thread has already gone through once, and then go through the next bead like that. And now you're going to advance your needle through the 15-0, the 4mm, and the 15-0 like that. So from here, you should be picking up 3 15-0s. So you're going to pick up 3 15-0s. You're exiting this 15-0. Now you're going to go through the hole that is empty right here on that RounDuo bead. Next, you're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm this time, so you're picking up the smaller bicone, then another 15-0 like that. You're exiting this RounDuo empty hole here. You're going into the next empty hole of the next RounDuo like that. You're going to repeat that step. Pick up another 15-0, 3mm bicone, and a 15-0. You're exiting here. You're going into the empty hole of the RounDuo that's next in line. And you're going to pull. That's what you have. Now you're going to pick up 3 more 15-0s. After you've picked up your 3 15-0s, you're exiting this RounDuo bead. You're going through the 15-0, the 4mm, and all 4 of these 15-0s. But you'll have to do a couple of beads at a time because of the angle. So just go ahead and do that and advance your needle through the next 2 15-0s like that. That's what you should have so far. So now you're going to pick up 5 more 15-0s. Like that. You're exiting this 15-0. You're going through the 15-0, the bicone, and the 15-0. Like that. So for your next step, you're going to pick up a 3mm, a 15-0, a 3mm, and 3 15-0s. Like that. So bring that to your work. Just pull that down like that. Now you're going to pass your needle back through the crystal and the 15-0 like that. And if it's loose as you're doing this, no problem. Just pull on it. Try to draw the work up by pulling on the last 3 beads here, and then pull your thread, and that will draw it up close together like that. So now we need to pick up one more crystal. So pick that crystal up, and now you're going to go through this 15-0 and your bicone and the 15-0. And if you can't do it in one swoop, you can do 1 bead at a time, and just try to make sure your crystal doesn't get caught like that. And now we'll go through this 15-0 right here like that. Our next step is to pick up 5 more 15-0s. Like that. Now we're going to go through our 15-0s here. Now we're going through all 4 and the crystal, but because of the angle, you're going to have to go through the first 2 beads. So we'll go through the first 2 15-0s like that. Then we're going to go through these next 2 15-0s, the 4mm bicone, and these next 2 15-0s like that. Pull your thread. And that's what you should have so far. So this is what you have, and this completes the component. So what we have to do now is we need to sew through a few beads and do a few knots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance my needle through all my 15-0s until I get to the 15-0 before this 3mm crystal. I'm going to do a knot right here, and I would suggest doing a surgeon's knot, because these components, you want to make sure that they're secure, and we're going to be putting these together. So take your needle, go under a thread bridge like that. You're going to go through the loop 2 times. So there's once, and then again twice. And you're going to pull your thread and just make sure that that knot seats in your work. So pull nice and tight like that. So now you're going to advance your needle through the crystal, and if it's tight, just kind of wiggle your needle in there, through the next 15-0 like that. Tie another knot here, and we can do a half hitch knot here. Just go through the loop 1 time like that. Pull nice and tight. Then bring your needle through a few more beads like that. I'm going to go back through this picot here. So bring your needle down through the crystal and through each of these seed beads on the tip like that. And then back up through that last 15-0, the crystal and the seed bead. And just advance your needle till you're coming out of this second crystal here, right there. And now you're going to cut that tail thread off. So that completes the component. So you're going to be making 7 of these components, just like this. So I'll do one more with you, and then we'll go on to the next step on how to assemble these. So this is a fairly easy necklace to make. It doesn't take long to make one of these components. You can do it in 10 minutes or less. Once you understand and learn the pattern pretty well, it's very easy to make. And then you just sew them together and add your chain. So you can make one of these in an afternoon. So let's do another component together, and then I'll send you off your way. You're going to string your needle with either 12 to 14 inches of thread. You're going to pick up 2 round duos, any hole, it doesn't matter. You're going to pick up a 15-0, a 4mm bicone, a 15-0, and one more RounDuo bead. And it doesn't matter which hole you go through here, like that. So pull those down on your thread, and you want to leave a 3 or 4 inch tail. And now you're going to sew back up through all of these beads. So this is your tail thread. Your needle is going the direction of your working thread. And you want to make sure you're going through the holes that have the thread going through them already. So just kind of wiggle your beads on, like that. Got one more to go here. And don't miss any. So there you go. Make sure your tail's long enough to do your knot. Just pull your thread. And you want to bring these together, so kind of pull on both ends. Like that. So set your needle down and we'll do the surgeon's knot. Take your tail thread, cross over the working thread, bring it through the loop twice. There's once, and there's twice. Pull your thread nice and tight. Do one more overhand knot by crossing your tail over the working thread. Bring it through the loop once. Pull your thread nice and snug and cut the tail off with your scissors. Now take your needle, position your work so that you've got your knot like this, and you've got the next 2 duo beads. You're going to bring your needle through the holes that already have the thread in them. So go through the first duo bead, like that. Go through the next duo bead in the hole you've already been through, like that. Now bring your needle through the 15-0, the 4mm bicone, and the 15-0, like that. Pick up 3 15-0s. Bring your needle through the empty hole of the RounDuo in front of you, like that. Pull. Now you're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm bicone, and a 15-0. Bring your needle through the empty hole of the next RounDuo, like that. Repeat that step one more time. Pick up a 15-0, a 3mm bicone, a 15-0. Bring your needle through the next empty hole of the RounDuo that's next in line. and pull. Now we're going to pick up 3 15-0s. Bring your needle through the 15-0, the 4mm bicone, and the next 15-0. Just kind of wiggle your thread, and you can go through the next 15-0 as well. We need to go through all 4 of those beads, but you'll have to do it in a couple of steps. So now go through the next 2. Now you're going to pick up 5 15-0s. You're exiting this 15-0. You're going to go through the 15-0, the 3mm bicone, and the 15-0, like that. Now you're going to pick up a bicone crystal, a 15-0, a bicone, and now 3 15-0s, like that. So pull that down to your work. Now you're going to bring your needle back up through the crystal and the 15-0, like that. Pull your thread. And just make sure you don't have any gaps. Pull that nice and snug. Now you're going to pick up another 3mm bicone. You're exiting this 15-0. You're going through the next 15-0, 3mm bicone, and 15-0. Like that. Now we're going to pick up 5 more 15-0s. Exiting this 15-0, we need to go through all 4 15-0s and the crystal and get to the other side. So I'm going to go through the first 2, like that. Now I'm going to go through the next 2 15-0s and the crystal, and the next 2 15-0s if you can. Pull your thread. Now you're going to advance your needle till you come out of this last 15-0 before the next crystal. So go ahead and bring your thread through like that. We're going to tie with a surgeon's knot first because you want to make sure this does not come apart. So bring your needle under the thread bridge like that. And you want to go through that loop twice. There's once and twice. And make sure that knot is right before that crystal. Pull your thread. Make sure that knot comes close. Now bring your needle through the crystal and the 15-0. And now you're going to go down this crystal here and the next 15-0 and crystal, and you're going to reinforce this by going back through these 3 seed beads at the end. Now we're going back up like that. Go through the next crystal here. I'm going to tie a half hitch knot right here. Go under the thread bridge once and through the loop once. Pull your thread. Now just advance your needle through the next 15-0, the crystal, and a few more 15-0s And we can go ahead and clip our thread right here. There you have it, 2 components. So continue making these components until you have 7 of these. If you need to replay the video, just rewind it and repeat the steps. And then I'll meet you back for the assembly. All right, for our next step, I'm going to show you how to connect your components. So here are 2 components, and you're going to repeat this process for all of them. So I'm starting from the far left and working my way across. Now I've already got some of mine done, but I'm just going to show you the basic idea here. First of all, you're going to thread your needle with about 1 yard of fireline. And you're going to bring your needle through. I'm going to start at this crystal here, these 2 crystals, the side. I'm going to go through the crystal, the 15-0, and the crystal, like that. I'm just going to leave a short tail because I'll be clipping that off. Now here I'm going to do a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to bring my needle under the thread bridge, and I'm going to go through that loop twice. There's once and twice, and I'm going to pull that knot in between that 15-0 and crystal. Let's pull that nice and tight. Now you can advance your needle up through these 15-0s. Continue going through these 15-0s. And we're going to go through these next 2 15-0s. I'm going to tie another half hitch knot right here. Bring your needle under the thread bridge. Go through the loop and pull your thread. So just make sure that the first knot you tie is a surgeon's knot. Second notch can be a half hitch knot. Now you want to go through your crystal, the next 3 seed beads, and then through 3 more seed beads, like that. So you want to be coming out of the 6th bead from that crystal here, like that. So now you're going to pick up your second component, and you're going to count from this center bead 6 beads over. So you want to come through the 6th bead from the crystal, like that. So that's what you have so far. So now you're going to bring your needle back through the opposite side of that 6th bead that you started from, right there. Bring your needle through, pull, and we're just going around this one more time. Go back up through the seed bead on the left, right there, and then back down that same bead on the right, and that will complete that first step of reinforcing. So now we're going to pick up a 15-0. Let's get this untangled. Pick up one 15-0. You're exiting this bead here. You're going to go up through the bead on the left and then the next two. So you're going through a total of 3 seed beads like that. Now you're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm bicone, and a 15-0. Now you're exiting this third bead, and you're going to do the same thing on this side. So you're actually counting over from this crystal here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going through that fourth bead and those next 2 afterwards, so a total of 3 seed beads. That's what you should be going through. Pull your thread. And now you're going to advance your needle back through the 3 beads on the left that you went through, like that. And that's how you connect your components. So you're going to repeat that process until you get all 7 of your components connected like that. And then I'll meet you back. All right, so this is what your necklace is going to look like once you have all of your components put together. And so from here, I'm going to show you how to put the chain on. So this is giving you a sneak peek of what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to advance our needle from here to come out of the 6th bead on this left hand side. And that will set us up to get our chain put on. So go ahead and advance your needle through the rest of the beads until you're coming out of the 6th bead from that 4mm crystal. And then I'll meet you back. Okay, we're getting down to the end here. First of all, you can get rid of this tail thread on that thread that you added, so we're going to clip that off. Now I'm going to connect my chain, although I've already done it on this piece, so you're just going to do this the way I'm showing you, and you'll repeat it for the other side and just attach your lobster clasp, etc., as I'll show you in the next step. So here's your chain, and I'm using a very thin chain. I believe this is a 1.5mm, pretty slender. It's a very dainty necklace, so I'm using a very lightweight chain. So first of all, as I'm coming out of the 6th bead here, I'm going to pick up a 15-0, I'm picking up a 15-0 and a 3mm bicone crystal, and then 2 more 15-0s, like that. Now I'm going through my chain, through one of the links at the end. I'm going to pull that through. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more 15-0s and another 3mm bicone, like that. Pick up one more 15-0. And now I'm going to bring my needle through the 5th bead from this end here. So I'm going through the 5th and the 6th bead coming in this direction, like that. Just pull that together. So I'm going to turn this around to make it easier because I want to reinforce this. So I'm going to go through this, through all the beads again. Go through your seed bead, your chain, the next 2 seed beads, and so forth. You get through all of these beads again. Pull your thread nice and snug, and you want to try to have the chain situated between those seed beads. So you're going to do that reinforcement one more time. So go ahead and do the reinforcement one more time. Bring your thread down through a few more beads, do a half hitch, a surgeon's knot, and then go through a few more beads, another half hitch knot, and then you can clip your thread. And then I'll see you in a moment. So let me get this arranged here, and then we'll do the last step of our chain. Be right back. Okay, for our last step, we're going to add the lobster clasp to the end of our chain. Now, as you can see, I added my O-ring on this side already. It's the same process, except you're just putting an O-ring on that end. And you're going to take your flat nose pliers, and I believe that one's already closed. So I'm using a 4mm jump ring here to add that clasp. If you don't have a 4, you can use a 6mm. So I'm going to start by twisting this open like that. Put my chain on the end. And then the lobster clasp. So now you're just going to close that. And just make sure it's nice and snug and there's no gaps there. So let me get this arranged, and I'll be right back. All right, so here is the beautiful sweetheart necklace. Absolutely beautiful. My finished length ended up being about 20 inches because I wanted it a little bit longer. You could do it shorter to whatever you wanted. You could even add more components if you wanted to. But this, the 7 components, just so that this looks centered when you're wearing this draped on your neck. Absolutely beautiful, and you can use any kinds of color. Try using your imagination and using different color combinations, and you can really come up with some beautiful stuff. Probably going to be making another one in a silver chain finish, and we'll see what that one looks like. But this is absolutely gorgeous. So I hope that you have fun with this, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial today. If you're not a subscriber yet, I hope you do subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share the link with your family and friends. I also have a website where I sell my jewelry, and you'll see this posted along with a couple of others I might be making. And the link to that website will be listed in the description box. In addition to the link to my website, you'll also see a list of the supplies you need for today's project with the exact measurements and weights. And also I will give you the names of the suppliers that I used with those links as well. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful week, and happy beading.